Position in 1988, Grandmaster Carsten creates an absolute masterpiece on the board that can only be described as a work of art. Let's see what happens here. So in the game, Carsten is mounting a kingside attack and just played rook to g1 in order to pin the bishop to the king and threaten bishop takes h6. So the opponent defends with king to f8 in order to get out of the pin. But here's where Carsten comes up with a brilliant combination. He starts with rook takes g7, sacrificing the rook for the bishop in order to remove a key defender of black's king. And you can take this rook in a couple different ways. If you take with the knight, then that allows bishop takes h6, winning the pawn and pinning the knight to the king, and that would be winning for white. So the opponent takes with the king in order to guard the pawn. But Carsten doesn't care that you just guarded the pawn, and continues with bishop takes h6 anyway, sacrificing the bishop in order to play rook to g1, which cuts the king off on the h-file where it can't escape. And we have this queen and bishop battery lurking in the back, ready to come into the attack. But the opponent comes up with a very nice defensive idea. They play pawn to f5, not only attacking the knight, but also closing down this light square diagonal that the queen was going to use to infiltrate. And here there's one good continuation, and Carsten finds it. He plays queen to e3 check, checking the king and trying to see if it wants to go to h7 to allow queen to g5, which would be devastating. But the real point of this move is to provoke pawn to f4, which stops the check and attacks the queen, but reopens this light square diagonal. And that was Carsten's idea. But now what do? Our queen is under attack. Well, there's one winning move, and Carsten finds it. He plays knight takes d6, a move that sacrifices the queen and opens up this light square diagonal. And you can't take the queen because if you do, then there's knight to f7 with checkmate. So you can't take the queen and the opponent takes the knight. But here is where Carsten continues with this plan. Now that the light square diagonal is back open, we play the simple queen to d3. And now we're threatening two different checkmates. And the opponent decides to defend with the resourceful knight to f8, which guards both squares. But here's where Carsten finishes it off. He plays queen to h7 check, sacrificing the queen to force the knight to take and play rook to g6. Checkmate.